Okay, this is another video of mine, and Furry here is guarding my car. Nah. Well, anyway, this video is going to talk about my car. This is a 5-year, 80,000 mile report. I had this car since brand new in 2013. And I would have to still say the same thing that I did on the very first review that I ever had with this car. But, you know, this car can take a beating, you know. I mean, like my kids, you know, like dozens of times my kids done this, leaving sodas or spilled dozens of things in the seats and put their foot on the seat thousands of times, you know. I mean, this car takes it really well. This car takes it good. It takes a beating good. I mean, like my kids, you know, since they were little, you know, I had this car since they were little, and millions of times they kicked the seats or putting sodas, or they spilled canned stuff here millions of times. But of course, I washed the seat dozens of times. The floor mats. I mean, because like the car looks good still. I mean, the car takes it really good. And then of course, with me sitting on there, of course this happened. You know, it's normal. I think it happens with all cars. And then these mats, you know, they're starting to get kind of worn out. Starting to get worn out here. And then so these floor mats starting to get worn out. And then these pedals are getting a little worn out too. Just a little bit, but I mean, all the times that I've been using the transmission lever, you know, like, of course, you know, all this, so the lever, like, of course, it's natural, and then, of course, all the, so this is the way the car looks after 5 years of using it. So, I would have to, I'm gonna get my keys, I'm gonna start my car. Just for the fun of it. So this car, as of this moment, has 80,000 miles. I just hit 80 on this car. So it's been good. The air conditioner works really good. Never had a complaint about the air conditioner in this car. I mean, it's one of the best parts on the car because it works really good. It always works good. Air conditioner has been really good on the car, and I still love the stereo on the car, you know. It's still one of my favorite parts of the whole car, you know. So, and then I still love the USB input there. The trunk, or the glove compartment is really roomy in here. And then like I say, even my wife sort of beats on the car, like beats it up a little bit, like puts her foot there sometimes. And then it's kind of, well, I mean, the car takes it good. I mean, like, it takes a beating good. I mean, and then like the, and then the back of the car. Well, I mean, a few times I accidentally left the car out of gear, or it was not on gear, and then it rolled back a couple of times, and I hit a wall one time with this car when it rolled back. And then all this is from me, you know, all the scratches, it's me being neglected, you know, like when I'm putting things in the car. Dozens of times I've been rough handling the car, like as far as like putting stuff in it, you know, like when I put stuff bigger than the car itself. And I've done this, you know, and I mean, when I put stuff bigger than the car can hold, you know, and I've done that so many times, and many times I put a load of stuff on top of the car, like a bed or a dresser, you know, like when we don't have a truck, you know, sometimes we have to do what we have to do, you know. And the car, it takes it good, you know. The paint, the headlights are starting to get worn out here. If you could see it, starting to get worn out. The finish, starting to do that now. I mean, if you could see it. This is after more than 5 years of sitting in the sun. Now, rarely this car is garaged. rarely. I mean, rarely garaged. Because I really don't have a room for it, that's one. And for another, I mean, sometimes I like the convenience of being able to get the car out, like get in the car and just go, you know, rather than opening the garage. And well, on this car, I had to replace the battery, and by now, I had to replace the brakes twice on the back, not the front. At about 72 miles or so, 72,000 miles, I replaced the front brakes for the first time. And on the back, I had to do the backs twice on this car. But I did it myself, you know. But the front brakes at more than 70,000 miles, they went without needing them. And then, I was having problems with the key. Like the key no longer works over here. I mean, I can't even turn this anymore, so it's stuck. So I always have to ask my wife to open the door for me whenever we get in there. And then so all in all, this car really has been good to me. I mean, I'm happy with the car. I mean, I have no complaints on the car. I never had a complaint. They never gave me problems other than the keys, but the car never left me stranded or anything. I mean, not as of yet, you know. It has 80,000 miles, but I was hearing a little bit of pinging on the engine, which has been reported for these cars to have the problem with. But I mean, I haven't had much of a problem with that lately. I just don't drive it hard or anything. I mean, it only pings when I drive it hard. When I do it hard, but I rarely do it anymore because I'm not the kind of guy that likes to drive cars hard. Not like before, you know. Like, so this car, I would say I had this car for more than 5 years. Had it since brand new. I'm the original owner of this car. It's been really good. It's been good to me so far, and I really enjoy driving this car. I mean, I really enjoy using this car for my commute or for my transportation, you know. I mean, because stick is fun to drive, you know. For me, stick is fun to drive, and it's just been good to me. I mean the car, I mean, I love the stereo on the car. I really love the stereo. I mean, and I love the style. I still, as of today, love the style of the car, you know. For being a base model car, I guess they redesigned it now. They just barely redesigned this car in 2018. But that redesigned Rio kind of looks like a Toyota Corolla, you know. It looks like a Toyota Corolla in the way. But, you know, like I say, I really like, that's me though. I mean, that's me. I mean, I like the style of the car, and it fits just good. Fits me for what I want to use a car for just right. But I guess the gas mileage, now if we're talking about gas mileage on this car, it's still the same. I mean, I still get about 250 miles on a tank. I mean, it still gives me about 25 miles per gallon. Sometimes less. Sometimes it seems like it gives me only like 22 miles per gallon. The mileage is not great. It really isn't that good on this car. But like I said, one time, you know, like when I went to Vegas and back, I mean, I got 39 miles on going to Vegas and back, but that was straight driving, like no stop and go, like none at all through the entire trip. But I think the high, I probably will get about 30 miles per gallon on this car if I'm driving mostly freeway. But the typical that I've been getting on this car is about 22 to 25 miles per gallon. I mean, it's not that great, but I think all of my other cars are the same, you know. Of course, naturally, the more street driving we do, naturally, the shittier the gas mileage. So I think it was the same thing as the rest of my cars, you know, the rest of my smaller cars. But so I would say, if you're gonna get my rating, I would say it's a 10 out of 10 in my. And if I was gonna still complain about anything on this car, I mean, I really don't have any complaints on this car. I mean, the only thing that I could probably say about it is the visibility on the back, and then you know, still the fact that that it didn't come with the spare tire. But like, I mean, who cares about that right now? And then over here, it seemed like I just had a complaint about this part, like falling like that, like it falls in, and then I don't like it. I mean, but here, there's a tire that I bought at the wrecking yards, and I put a jack in there, you know. I mean, as far as I know, and then the back seats fold down. I mean, I have no complaint really. I mean, I really honestly don't have a complaint about this car. I mean, honestly, I don't have a complaint. Really though, I mean, it's all honesty. Well, one thing I guess I could say is the way they designed the keys. They're crap. The way they designed the keys, because I've had problems with the key locks, the key cylinders. They keep getting stuck, and I did get left stranded because of it. No, once or twice, but I mean, it was a threat of leaving me stranded because of that, actually. I mean, I take it back, but it's just a key thing. There was nothing to do with the engine or anything. But, so, I mean, right now, currently, this is the only sort of problem that I have on this car. It's just the keys. It's no big deal. You see this key, it won't turn. It won't turn. And I put a lubricant there and they fixed it, but then it just didn't want to work anymore. So, and that's it. So that's what I have to say about this car. I mean, it's been good to me. I mean, I like the car. I'm 100%. Like, if anything, I'm 110% happy with the car. I mean, I don't have a plan on selling the car. And even if I were going to sell it, it would be so much of an insult on what someone would want to give me for this car. I would rather just keep the car. I'd rather just keep it than to give it away for pennies, you know, because dealers, for an example, like if I was going to try to trade this car in, they would probably only give me like $2,500 for this car, which is an insult. That's an insult, you know. So I would rather just give it away to a homeless guy than to be insulted by getting $2,500 from a dealer only for them to sell it for $10,000, you know. I know that. I would rather give it away than to be insulted by that, and to see that they are turning around being cheap on how much they give me for the car and turning it around and being greedy with how much they sell the car for, you know. And that's what I would rather do. Well, anyway, but I don't plan on selling the car. I have no plans whatsoever selling the car, because like I said, because I know nobody's gonna buy it, you know, because being a stick shift is one of the things that makes it hard to sell a car. But I like the car, so I mean, I don't have any reason for upgrading on a car or anything. Well, maybe a couple years from now, maybe 2-3 years from now. When the car starts to get old, that's when I'll go get a new one, you know. But until then, I'm happy with this car, you know. I'm 100% happy with the car. I mean, it does its job good, and I like the style, and it's comfortable. Like, the air conditioner works good, the stereo's really nice, and all the good stuff about the car. I mean, and it's not expensive, you know. It's not expensive to maintain it, you know. It's actually cheap to maintain it, and I just change oil and that's it. Insurance is cheap on the car, well, because right now it's paid off. The car's paid for, so I just have liability only on the car, so it's cheap. And it would be cheap to replace this car if I was to ever lose it or whatever. I mean, wreck it or whatever. I mean, they could probably pick one of those up for less than $5,000 if we looked around, you know. But $5,000 is about what I say the car's worth, estimated. So that wraps up with this video. All right. Okay, thanks.